Hello students and welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Pooja Walia-Maan from SGI Samalkhan. Today we are going to talk on the module Quality Circles and Services from the paper Services Marketing. In this module you will learn about the meaning of quality, then the meaning of service quality, concept of quality circles, features and purpose of quality circles, and the gap model. Now, understanding the consumer's needs is the initial point of the marketing process, and the satisfaction of these needs seems to be the aim of all the marketing efforts. The consumer's needs can be satisfied only when the quality services are delivered at a reasonable price to the target consumer. However, due to the intangible nature of the services, it may not be easy to ensure consistent high quality standards in each service encounter. Here we reach to a very crucial aspect: quality. Quality refers to adherence to the highest standards of performance at every step of working and for each unit of production and distribution. Higher standards are usually the industry benchmarks of performance which are universally recognized. We come to the related but extended concept: service quality. Maintenance of certain parameters of service performance and delivery assured by the service marketer to earn itself a competitive edge in the perception of the target consumer refers to the service quality. In defining the standards of quality, it is significant to first define what quality means to an organization. The International Organization of Quality Standards, that is ISO 9001-2000, defines quality as the characteristics of the service that bears upon its ability to meet the customer requirements. Customers' requirements could be of three types: those stated by the customer, those generally implied, and those obligatory on the part of the service provider. In the example of a restaurant, a customer may state that quality means hygienic and good food, comfortable ambience with good lights and music, and courteous service is implied, and it is obligatory on the part of the restaurant to provide rate cards and the bill of the purchase. Now here we reach to an important question: is there any difference between the goods quality and the quality of services? The service elements of quality are difficult to gauge as compared to the elements of the quality of goods. Manufactured goods must offer a consistently high standard of performance of the product to satisfy the needs of the consumers in the most reasonable ways so as to remain competitive in the market. On the other hand, while service must also offer high standards of performance, but due to its intangible nature, observing or measuring the level of quality may be difficult. Further, measurement of quality standards may not be objectively perceived by all consumers in a uniform manner. For example, in the restaurant, for one consumer, playing of retro music is considered as good, while the other may perceive it to be boring, and he feel that new jazzy songs are more enjoyable. Hence, the service quality is a subjective thing and may be difficult to be offered and measured. So while offering a service quality, prior to its formulation and the formulation of any marketing strategy, it is important to set the internal quality standards, keeping in mind the commonly accepted external industry standards of quality. The service provider must investigate as to what remains with the consumer after the service is consumed. It must also be investigated as to what a consumer expects while purchasing and consuming a service. A service marketer should be more alert and careful in assessing what exactly quality would mean for a set of potential consumers. In doing so, it is important to understand the reason of purchase of a service by any consumer. This provides a clear idea of the desired level of service outcome which is sought by the consumer when he pays for it. This means the service provider must investigate as to what remains with the consumer after the service is consumed. A marketer who exceeds these expectations of the consumers ensures that the consumer is delighted with the service. Let me come back to the example of restaurant. Is it the tasty food that will be remembered by a consumer, or the courteous staff service, or maybe the memory of an add-on recreational facilities enjoyed by him on his visit at the restaurant will be remembered? An objective assessment like this is very useful in understanding the most important variables for which the service firm must go an extra mile to maintain the highest standards of quality. In the year 1982, Professor Grunrose categorized the service quality into two different types: the technical quality and the functional quality. He described technical quality as the quality related to the outcome of the service, whereas the functional quality was described as the quality related to the way of delivering the service to the consumer. These two are known as the types of service quality, that is, the technical quality and the functional quality. Based on this classification, in the year 1988, Professor Parasuraman elaborated the functional quality by adding 5 more dimensions to it. The first, reliability, that is, delivering consistently higher service quality. Second, responsiveness, which means being proactive in anticipating consumers' unfulfilled needs and attempting to satisfy the same promptly. Third, assurance, which is the ability of employees to instill trust and confidence in the minds of the customers. Fourth, empathy, which means the ability of the service employees to understand the needs of the consumers and care for them. And lastly, tangibles, which are the physical evidence of the services like equipments, and personal's appearance, and the promotional or communication material assuring the service deliverables. A very unique but very important concept in service quality is the services quality circles. A quality circle is a group of service personnel doing almost a similar kind of service creation and service delivery task who interact on regular basis to identify, objectively understand and search for an optimum solution to the service process related problems. These quality circles are often small in size and are led by a mutually accepted leader or a formally appointed supervisor with a clear vision of offering highest standards of quality to the consumers in each interaction. The quality circles analyze the problems and reach to a mutually agreeable solution. This solution is presented before the management for final approval of its implementation by the members. Often, in empowered organizations, the quality circles implement the solutions at their own level wherever possible, resulting in higher level of motivation and improved employee productivity. In the West, the technique of quality circles was very commonly adopted during the period of 1980s. Even today, this concept is very frequently used to maintain high quality standards in the name of Kaizen groups or workers' participation schemes. The main purpose behind all these interventions is to offer quality service by keeping the participation and morale of the employees high. Having talked about the meaning of the quality circles, let us have a look at the historical background of the quality circles. In the year 1985, Professor Kaoru Ishikawa defined the term quality circles in his book, What is Total Quality Control? The Japanese Way. Nippon Wireless and Telegraph Company was the first to use the concept of quality circles in the year 1962 in Japan. The Union of Japanese Scientists and Engineers had 36 companies registered with it. By the year 1978, there were about 1 million circles operating in Japan, covering more than 10 million Japanese workers, and this was only in the manufacturing sector. Gradually, the quality circles came to be adopted and used in various countries. Like in many countries, as in India, the quality circles are implemented in manufacturing and service sector alike. These are also being adopted in educational sectors and Quality Circle Forum of India. A number of tools may be used for the quality circles. We look at a diagram representing the various hierarchies of factors causing any problem. Here, students, you can see the structure of a quality circle. It is in the form of a pyramid where the top management supports the circle activities and provides assistance in the form of any required resources. The second level is that of a steering committee. Now, this steering committee is actually an advisory body with the heads of major functions. These are the members of the steering committee and are responsible for all the quality circle activities. The next level down the line is that of a facilitator. A facilitator is someone who may be a shop manager or a department manager whose job is to support and guide the functioning of the quality circles in any organization. Below the facilitator comes the circle leader. As the name suggests, he is a leader, therefore he leads all the activities of the quality circles. Down the line are the members. Members of any quality circle shall be engaged in identifying the problems and thereby giving a solution as a team to overcome the problem coming in the way of the implementation of quality standards. The remaining non-member employees come below them in the pyramid. Having discussed the meaning of quality circles, let us discuss the features of quality circles. A quality circle is a volunteer group of workers of a service organization who meet to discuss the improvement in the quality of service design and delivery. Therefore, the first feature of a quality circle is a voluntary group. The second is these are formal groups. Quality circles are formal organizational groups who meet regularly to discuss the quality issues. Another feature of a quality circle is the members. Generally, the quality circle comprises of 8 to 10 members in any service organization. Next refers to the specialist as a group moderator. The group, that is, a quality circle, is trained by an HR specialist with adequate training and experience in identification of problem, collecting and analyzing the information, statistics, and generation of solution. Next, we come to the topic of discussion. The quality circles may decide to ponder upon any topic of their choice related to the functional dimension of quality. Here, students, it is important to note that the quality circle cannot discuss any topic related to salary or the working conditions. And the last feature of any quality circle would be continuity. The quality circles are designed to serve on a regular basis within a service organization. They continue to discuss and debate on the quality dimensions over and over, choosing any topic of their choice. Now, can we also discuss the various objectives of service quality circles? Let's pick it one by one. The first objective of a service quality circle is that it promotes teamwork. A regular interaction amongst the voluntary group enhances the teamwork and an increased cooperation. Secondly, it improves the morale. The group working encourages the morale of the group in contributing to the attainment of the organizational goals through group processes. Another objective of service quality circle could be the focus on quality. Now, the main aim of the quality circle is to enhance the quality of the service design, the physical evidence, the service personnel's training, and the service delivery with the purpose to increase the standards of service quality. The deliberations of the group revolve around making the service processes reach the highest level of service quality. This may be done by improving the service design or improving the competence of the service delivery personnel. The next objective is improved implementation of quality. A regular and deliberate group effort of discussing and suggesting ways and means to improve quality by a voluntary group leads to the smooth implementation of the suggestions. But remember, only if it is accepted by the management. The next objective, of course, will be to reduce the cost. While suggesting the areas of improvement, the group eventually facilitates in the reduction of wastage and thus save the cost of the organization. Redundant and duplicated tasks and activities may be eliminated, and a lean service design may help achieve economy to the organization. The last objective, but one of the most important objectives of service quality circle, is to ensure highest level of consumer satisfaction. The overall aim of providing quality services and improving the morale of the employees is to serve the bottom line, which means satisfying the consumer. Well, students, we reach to a very important topic in the service quality, which is known as a gap model. To offer quality services, it is important for the marketer to assess the deficiency in consumer expectations of the service quality and the understanding and offering of service quality by the firm's employees. This phenomena of evaluating the difference between the consumer expectations from the service performance and the employee's understanding of the sought service quality level has been termed as service gap. In the year 1985, Professors Parsuraman, Professor Berry, and Professor Zihami developed the service quality gap model, which highlights 5 gaps in the service delivery which may result in the delivery of poor services. If a firm wants to offer excellent quality, then it must aim to work to close these gaps as shown in this figure. Let us look at all the gaps one by one. The first gap refers to the requirements gap, which is a difference between what the consumer expects and what the managers perceive about the consumer's requirement. The second is the design gap, which is a difference between the management perception of the customer requirement and the service design and the delivery specifications which are ultimately developed. It is the gap between the service design and delivery specifications and the service delivery and conformance to these specifications. Then comes gap 4, which is the communication gap. As the name suggests, it is a difference between what is intended to be communicated and what is perceived and understood. And the last is a satisfaction gap, which we name as gap 5. Satisfaction gap refers to the difference between what the customer wanted and what he perceives to have received in any service. Having discussed this figure known as a gap model, we understand that the phenomena of evaluating the difference between the consumer expectations from the service performance and the employee's understanding of the sought service quality has been termed as service gap. Let us quickly revise the 5 gaps as indicated in the model. The first is the requirements gap. This is the first gap, which is the result of ignorance of marketers' understanding of what the consumer desires or expects. The second is the design gap. This is the second gap, which may occur due to the basic design of the service being offered to the consumer. The marketers may fail to incorporate satisfactory service standards and hence may not be able to design a quality service. The third gap is the quality specification and delivery gap. A service organization may have guidelines and specifications in place for the delivery of high service quality to the consumers. But when the service is delivered in actual time, the same performance standards may not be met, thereby creating a service delivery gap. While the service standards may be uniformly set, the service personnel's delivery in terms of treating the consumers and offering the services may not be uniform in all encounters and may even be lower than set by the management. Let us take an example. A toll-free consumer helpline number of a telecommunications service provider is set to be answered within 10 seconds as a service rule. However, in practical life, due to several factors, the call may not be answered within the stipulated time, causing a service gap. There could be an imbalance between the promotional communication and the internal performance. For the purpose of attracting potential consumers to try out a service, the firm may use media advertising to convey its quality standards to them. However, there may be a gap between what is portrayed in the promotional message and what actually is delivered. This may result in a service gap and consumer dissatisfaction. If any internet service provider promises a certain speed of downloading some videos in its advertisements, but in actual, when the same video is downloaded, it takes more than the advertised time, this may cause a service delivery gap. The firm must not promise more than what it is actually capable of delivering. Satisfaction gap is another gap for any service delivery. A service satisfaction gap is the difference between the expectations of the consumers with the service and their perception of its actual performance. If the expectations are higher than the perception, the consumer would be dissatisfied. If the expectations are equal to the actual service performance perceived by the consumer, he would be satisfied. Only when the consumer's expectations are exceeded by the perceived actual service performance, the consumer can be delighted and he can only then be expected to come back for another service purchase or also give a positive referral. The last and the fifth gap refers to a satisfaction gap. A service satisfaction gap is the difference between the expectations of the consumers with the service and their perception of its actual performance. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. Quality is an increasingly important variable to gauge the service firm's competitiveness. But it is not easy to either measure or ensure high quality services despite the desire of the management and maybe of the consumers. This is so because it is important to investigate what the consumers wish to receive in a service and then design the service accordingly. This understanding of the consumer's needs and service quality deliverability has to be shared with the service personnel so that the same level of quality is delivered at each service encounter. Quality circle is an important technique being used in bringing together the service personnel in a formal group with the agenda of deliberating the issue of quality design and delivery in each service encounter. Quality refers to the commonly expected set of performance standards of any product or a service. Desiring of a level of service design and delivery in services is called as service quality. Quality circles are increasingly being adopted as a technique of delivering and designing higher standards of quality by the service firms. The concept of quality circles originated in Japan in the manufacturing industry but was soon adopted across the world in various manufacturing and services industry. As discussed, quality circles are voluntary formal groups of workers under the supervision of some specialist in a service organization comprising of 8 to 10 members who regularly meet and discuss the solutions to various problems related to service quality and ways of improving the service design and delivering service. These suggestions are put forward to the management for acceptance. The approved solutions are implemented with the active participation of these very service quality groups. For ensuring a high quality services, there are a number of techniques available to the quality circles, like the fishbone model, brainstorming technique, PDCA Deming wheel, the Pareto chart, and the GOP model, etc. Thank you.